everyone, and welcome to another episode of Reel Me In, a movie podcast where you didn't really ask for, but hey, I'm going to give it to you anyways. This is a podcast where I talk about anything, everything, and anything about movies. I'm your host, Chase Lee, and hey guys, listen, if you're new to this podcast and you were looking on the web for something strange and something sexual or whatever, and you accidentally came across my show and you are not a movie fan, well, hopefully I can convince you to be one. Thank you for joining me on episode 140, guys. I'm going to be talking about if you're new to the show, some movie news, some trailers that dropped, and of course my review of Jason Bourne and my kind of like overall thoughts of the Bourne Trilogy, because this was the very first time I saw it this week. I know, fucking crazy, right? But yeah, so welcome. Like I said, if you are watching on YouTube or you now and you want an audio only version, link will be in the description below. And if you're watching on Facebook Live and you want to join in on the conversation, or if you're listening on Spreaker and you want a video version, all that stuff will be in the description below and whatnot. But yeah, if you are watching on Facebook Live, please comment along and have a good time. And like I said, I'm on You Now. So this is my first time doing You Now. So what's up, You Now? How is it going? So I have actually 4 things up. I have Facebook Live, YouTube, Spreaker, and fucking You Now. So I have 4 things open and it's fucking chaotic. But this is gonna be a really interesting show because like I said, I had never seen the Bourne movies up until this week. So it's gonna be really interesting to kind of like break these things down and really just kind of dive deep in them. So that's what she said. All right, so let's not waste any time, guys. But first, how you guys doing? You guys doing pretty good? You guys have a pretty good week or whatever? As you guys can tell, I'm wearing a different shirt. My girlfriend got this for me, so I don't have to wear button-up shirts like I'm going to church, you know, or like some type of social event. So, thank you. So yeah, let's get this started, guys. Sorry for the awkward intro. So let's start with some movie news. The first piece of news I want to talk about is that the Toronto International Film Festival has released some of their films, and it looks like they're really going to kick off this Oscar season. I am so fucking excited for this season of Oscar films. There's so many coming out when you have like The Magnificent Seven, and you have like La La Land from the Whiplash director. You have Birth of a Nation. You have The Girl on the Train. Like, there's just so many different opportunities for many types of movies from different genres to get into this Oscar pool and just cause some damage. So, yeah, that's the first piece of news, is that the Toronto International Film Festival has released some of the titles that are going to be there and premiere there. And it's just super exciting because there's so many of them. I wrote them down, like, just some of the highlights, A Monster Calls, and that Liam Neeson kind of monster movie with like the kid or whatever. I reviewed it like a while back. It looked pretty cool. Birth of a Nation, which is getting a lot of buzz. Nate Parker wrote, directed, acted, and starred in this film about, the slaves and whatnot rising up and basically starting a rebellion, which they should. La La Land, which I'm super excited for. Like I said, Whiplash is one of my favorite movies of all time now. It's fantastic. The Magnificent Seven. There's one called Arrival, which is done by Denis Villeneuve, who did Sicario and Enemy and Prisoners and stuff. So, and that's just a sample size. If you want to look at all of Toronto International Film Festival's lineup, please go on their website and check everything out. I cannot wait to hear all the buzz and the reviews coming out of that festival. That is the one you want to look out for in terms of Oscar type movies and stuff, and what type of Oscar season it's going to be. And I'm super excited to just get into it, man. Like, the fall time is probably my favorite time for movies. I love my summer blockbusters and I love comic book movies, as you guys know, but I really do like my independent films. I do like these smaller films and stuff. These are the ones that will make my top 10 of the year for the most part. So that's the first piece of news. The second piece of news is that Spider-Man, speaking of comic book stuff, let's jump right into it. Spider-Man was at San Diego Comic-Con this past weekend. And, they didn't really show much. They actually didn't show much of any of the Marvel stuff. They showed the Doctor Strange trailer, and that was it. They actually kept Guardians of the Galaxy 2 under wraps. They kept Spider-Man under wraps, Thor Ragnarok and stuff. I understand that. They're still a long ways out, and you don't want to, show any footage too early and blow your load like Suicide Squad did last year. But, they kind of had to because of the leak. But Kevin Feige, the president of Marvel Studios, came out and said that Spider-Man will be kind of following like a Harry Potter formula. Now, it's going to already have like a John Hughes type of tone. This is a guy that brought us like 16 Candles and Breakfast Club and whatnot. So it's going to have like that kind of like coming of age type of high school feel to it, which is great. But he said that the Spider-Man movies were going to have more of a Harry Potter formula in terms of having Tom Holland, the actor playing Spider-Man, be Spider-Man his freshman year in high school and just gradually have these sequels by each grade, which is very, very smart. I mean, Tom Holland already looks like he's 12, so he can play Spider-Man for 10 years if he wanted to. And I like this formula because I like the Tobey Maguire movies. I do. But the guy was almost fucking 30 when he did the first one. I like the Andrew Garfield, the first one. Once again, almost 30 when he started. Spider-Man is a teenager. So when you have an actor that looks like a baby, looks like a little kid, that can really kind of portray this character in a high school fashion, it's going to make it more realistic to the comics and stuff and have that Spider-Man feel to it. So I'm all for having them start out as a freshman in high school and then gradually just kind of work their way up through the grades and whatnot. So that to me is just really smart comments and stuff. So yeah, Spider-Man is to follow a Harry Potter formula and go by each grade and get older as we move along. The next piece of news, speaking of comic book stuff, is not a comic book piece of news, but Chris Evans, Captain America, good old Cap. He's actually being eyed to star in the Jekyll movie from Lionsgate. What? What a weird pick. I really like Chris Evans a lot. I think he's a very talented actor. Captain America, like he is Steve Rogers. Every time I go see one of these movies now, like he has cemented himself in this pop culture wave that is comic book movies. He is Steve Rogers. However, he's a really good actor as well. He's done a lot of darker stuff. Like he did, what was the movie? Puncture. He's done movies like Snowpiercer where he gets really, gritty and dirty and stuff in his acting. And he's really good at comedy. He's done a lot of romantic comedies and whatnot. And the first thing I ever saw him in, I don't know if I told you guys this, but it was Not Another Teen Movie. And that fucking movie it still cracks me up to this day. Me and my girlfriend watched it like last week, and it still holds up as one of the better spoof movies, especially after the sludge of shit that we've gotten over the past 5 years. So with that being said, he is very talented. He can basically be in any genre and completely nail it. He's done romantic comedies. He's done action films. He's done dramas. Hell, he even directed that one Before We Go or something like that, that romantic movie. I'm sure there was a lot of dramatic elements in it. I didn't see it. And, of course, some really kind of thought-provoking sci-fi films such as the Snowpiercer and stuff. So him playing Jekyll, I actually want to see this because I haven't really seen Chris Evans play like a villainous role. Now, it's going to be, Jekyll and Hyde and stuff. So he's going to have that like split personality trait, which is really cool to think about because I've never seen Chris Evans kind of go to that level. So when you have him play dual personalities, that's a great test for any actor to sink their teeth into and to see, can you do this now? Can you deliver it? Can you deliver a convincing, awful person and a convincing, good person? It's a scientist or whatever. So like I'm really kind of excited to see this. Now, am I gonna like line up opening weekend to see it? Probably not. But the fact that he's gonna be playing Jekyll is actually a very unconventional choice, and it actually gets me more excited to see it, just because I'm curious to see what Chris Evans does. And the last piece of news, speaking of casting, Meryl Streep is joining Mary Poppins Returns. This is the sequel. And it stars Emily Blunt. She will be playing Mary Poppins, taking the role from Julie Andrews back from the original. And it's going to follow more of the books. Now, I haven't read any of the books, obviously, because I can't read. I'm kidding. I can read. I choose not to. Yeah, I don't know how many books there are, but I know that there was a series of books done by the author P.L. Travers, and uh, she did not want Walt Disney to touch the first one. He swooed her, he convinced her and stuff, and even when the final product came out, she fucking hated it. So now that they're going to go more by the books and stuff, it's probably going to be more of what she wanted in the first place. Because in the first Mary Poppins, which is a classic to many people, is that Mary Poppins was very happy. She was very optimistic. And yes, she was very stern with the kids and stuff, but she was very, spoonful of sugar, So, but the sequels, like in the books and stuff, and like the tone of the first one, even book-wise, it was dark. Apparently, like in the book, like she was a mean fucking person to these kids and really kind of like psychologically damaged them. So I kind of want to see that. I want to see Disney take these darker routes with their properties and stuff and really kind of make more adult content. Because speaking of Mary Poppins and P.L. Travers, I really liked Saving Mr. Banks because it wasn't like a foo-foo, like, happy-go-lucky movie. There was a lot of sad, depressing shit in there, and I really enjoyed that because I was like, yes, finally, an adult Disney film that I can, separate from all the animation and the kids' films and stuff and just really call it its own and just, I don't know. It's just, I really liked it quite a bit. And I thought the performance was really great. The story was really deep and emotional and stuff. So, yeah, if you guys have not seen Saving Mr. Banks, please check that out. I highly recommend it. All right, that is it for the news, guys. It's kind of a slow news week. I apologize for that. But, yeah, let's move on to some new trailers that dropped. There was a lot of them, so let's get right into it. And once again, if you're watching on Facebook Live or YouNow and stuff, please comment down below on any of the news stories that you found to be exciting, interesting, or whatever. And now let's get into some trailers because I'm excited to talk about a few of them. All right, the first one I'm going to talk about is Office Christmas Party. Now, if you guys don't know what this is, congratulations. You don't look at movie news 24/7 like I do and have no life. So you guys are actually awesome. Office Christmas Party stars Jason Bateman, T.J. Miller, Jennifer Aniston, Kate McKinnon, and I forgot. But anyways, R-rated, raunchy party movie. This office full of people have a Christmas party. And it gets raunchous and, alcohol, drugs everywhere. I got to be honest with you. I didn't really find the trailer funny. And that's not to say I won't enjoy the movie because, I really like Jason Bateman and T.J. Miller a lot. Like, T.J. Miller is one of my boys. I love Silicon Valley to death. I know he's got the improvisational, like, comedy chops and whatnot. So I know for a fact that he can deliver comedy. And I know Jason Bateman can do it. I really liked him in Arrested Development and Horrible Bosses he's good in. And The Office Christmas Party, first of all, is directed by the directors of The Switch, which Jennifer Aniston and Jason Bateman were also in. That was a really great dramedy. I really enjoyed it. I highly suggest to check that out. But yeah, it looked like standard R-rated comedy fare where I was like, I really don't fucking care, nothing really kind of hit me comedy-wise and whatnot. But this was a Green Band trailer, I believe. So or was it a Red Band trailer? If it was a Red Band trailer, because in Red Band trailers, you're supposed to release the best content, have your best R-rated raunchy jokes in there to really sell the audience and stuff. So, yeah, I just didn't find it funny. There's really nothing more I can say. So, yeah, Office Christmas Party. There you go. Okay, so Facebook Live. Oh, Ren. Oh, what's up, man? Him and I went to high school together. He said Mary Poppins sequel, ? Yeah, that's coming, buddy. Get ready. Yeah, no, it's a very weird thing that dropped a while back. The next trailer I want to talk about is the full trailer. This is not a teaser. This is the full trailer for The Accountant. This stars Ben Affleck, Anna Kendrick, J.K. Simmons, Jeffrey Tambor, and John Lithgow. And essentially, Ben Affleck plays this kind of like antisocial, very smart type of weird dude that just doesn't really talk to anyone. He keeps to himself. He's kind of OCD in a lot of things, so he doesn't know how to communicate with people. And he's an assassin, so he's an accountant and an assassin. Yay! There's your conflict. I really love this fucking trailer. First of all, it's directed by the guy that did Warrior, Gavin O'Connor. Never saw Warrior, but I heard Warrior was fucking excellent. This one, I really like the tone of the trailer. I like the way the trailer progressed. It just got more intense as it went along. And I still don't know much about Ben Affleck's character. I really don't, and I really don't want to. I know the basics is that he's very OCD, he's very smart, he's antisocial, he doesn't know how to communicate with people, and that's all I need to know. And when you see Ben Affleck's acting in the trailer, it is outstanding. It looks like he's really going to have a really great character role in this and really have a lot of depth in his character and make us want to care about him, even though if he's going to be assassinating, killing, and whatnot. So it seems like he's going to be a very likable person, but a very different and unique person in terms of personality and whatnot. But we still kind of want to root for him and whatnot. But this looks like a character that he's really going to sink his teeth into, and I'm really excited to see it. The action looks great. The acting looks phenomenal, and Ben Affleck looks like he's really going to step up his game for sure. The next trailer I want to talk about is Hacksaw Ridge, and this is the movie directed by Mel Gibson. He is coming back. He is the director of Apocalypto, Braveheart, and many, many other movies. Now, this is the, I think, first movie post his crazy-ass phone calls and stuff, and let me just say this real quick, and I'll get off my soapbox, is that I realize that actors' personal lives aren't supposed to conflict with their, their like careers and stuff. I realize that what Mel Gibson did was kind of shitty. I get that, but that is his personal life. If you want to look at him as far as an artistic director, he is one of the best. The guy created Passion of the Christ. He created an epic Jesus tale. He created an epic war film. He created an epic warlike film that had subtitles. So the guy knows how to create atmosphere. He knows how to create an epic feeling, grand story that you're going to really get invested in, and your money is going to be spent wisely because you know that you're going to go on an adventure when you see a Mel Gibson film. Hacksaw Ridge stars Andrew Garfield, and he plays this soldier, which is based on a true story, where he joined the military and he did not fire a single bullet, but saved like 75 people during the war and whatnot. And that to me is just is courageous and is so brave. And when you see this on the big screen, you're going to become inspired, and you're going to feel like you can do anything once you see this story. It looks like it's going to be very emotional. It looks like it's going to be very heartfelt. There's going to be a lot of great war scenes and stuff. It just looks like a really inspiring type of film, and I'm super excited to see it. Everything about it just looks really great, and especially since it's around Oscar time, it's probably going to get some Oscar consideration. Andrew Garfield, this fucking guy, I've wanted him to pop for the longest time. This might be it. He's the main character, which makes sense that he will finally be in the forefront as an actor to be taken seriously to. Because listen, I like the guy quite a bit. If you watch like movies like The Social Network, or oh god, what was that one movie he did with Carey Mulligan? I forgot, but that one was really good too. Besides Spider-Man, he's done a lot of great smaller films that you go, huh, he can fucking act. I like that. So Hacksaw Ridge, directed by Mel Gibson, war film about a soldier that never fired a bullet in the military but saved a lot of people. Very brave and inspiring indeed. The next trailer I want to talk about, speaking of Matt Damon, since he's going to be the topic of conversation for most of the day, is The Great Wall. Now, The Great Wall stars Matt Damon, and it's just a teaser trailer, but there's a lot of, I believe, soldiers guarding the Great Wall. There's a lot of fog underneath and stuff. You're like, ooh, what's going to happen and stuff. And then fucking monsters come out. It just... Yes. Is it historically accurate? No, it is not. I get that. But in terms of like an entertaining, fun movie, this looks like it can be it. Does it look stupid as all hell? Yes. But it's Matt Damon fighting monsters over the Great Wall. What more do you need? But I do like the atmosphere built into the trailer. It was very ominous and very mysterious and stuff. And so I really kind of liked the tone and the feeling of the trailer, because you couldn't see anything down that Great Wall, so you're just like, well, what the fuck is down there? And then, you know, these giant like squid monster type things like grab people and like fling them over the edge and stuff. That's actually kind of terrifying. I hope that never happens. We're gonna hear a news story next week where they're gonna be like, oh, monsters were found on the other side of the Great Wall. Run for your lives. So I really like the trailer. It seems like a really fun monster movie and stuff. And Matt Damon looks like he's going to kick ass once again, just like he does in the Bourne film. So, yeah, the Great Wall looks fun. That's all I can really say. Just please watch it for yourself. 2 more trailers. The next trailer is Masterminds. This is the second trailer. You're probably thinking to yourself, didn't you do a review of this like a while back? Yeah, I did. And it was the first trailer, and it was supposed to come out like a month later, but the company that was running it, like, I think went into bankruptcy, and so they had to, like, you know, find a studio to release the film. When it was just a whole fucking debacle and whatnot. So this guy's second trailer, I think it's gonna be released in the fall. It's still not funny to me. I don't know what it is about Zach Galifianakis and comedies now, but he just doesn't hit it for me. He's really great in the Hangover trilogy. I will give him that. And people are probably thinking, like, oh, is he even a good actor? Yes, he is. And I got 2 examples for you. It's kind of a funny story, which he plays a mental patient along with who is it? Emma Roberts and I forgot the other actor's name. Sorry. He hasn't really been in much. And then Birdman. He was really great in Birdman. I was like, hey, he's got some chops. But post The Hangover, he's just not really doing it for me with comedies. And just, I don't know, maybe that's just not his shtick anymore, and he should focus more on dramatic work and whatnot. But this trailer was just not funny, man. I didn't really like Kristen Wiig. Jason Sudeikis has the only funny line in the trailer. I don't know what to say, guys. It's just not a trailer that convinces me to go see the movie whatsoever. And the last trailer, the one that everyone was talking about throughout the week, Split, with James McAvoy playing like 27 different personalities. So you're like, oh my God, that sounds amazing. And you were right. So this one is written and directed by M. Night Shyamalan, who did, you know, Sixth Sense, Unbreakable, Signs, The Village, Last Airbender, After Earth, The Visit, and whatnot. I got to be honest with you guys. I like The Sixth Sense. I like Unbreakable. I like Signs. I like The Village. And I like The Visit. That's 5 films of his that I like. Out of, what, 9? I like half of his movies. And a lot of people will look at the M. Night Shyamalan and be, oh my God, this fucking guy, I hate him so much. I like half of his movies, so I can't sit there and go, he's one of the worst directors ever. No, he's not. He's got great ideas, but sometimes he does not execute them properly. Look at Lady in the Water. What the hell was that? Some weird fucked up fairy tale that you tell your kids when you're drunk at 4 a.m. when you come home from the bar when your wife kicked you out and you're just like, oh, I need to go spend some time with my son. That's what that movie was. The Happening is so bad it's good, but it's not a good movie though. But it's very hilarious. Watch it. Watch it while drinking, and it is one of the best experiences that you'll ever have. And then I really liked The Visit from last year. I thought that was a really great, solid horror film, horror thriller or whatever, to kind of really put him back in the limelight after all the shit he's been taking. And I actually liked that movie Devil, which he did. Well, he didn't do it, though. He produced it, and he came up with the story. I like that one. Sue me. Fuck everyone that hates me. So, but Split, though. Let's talk about Split. Split looks fucking awesome. Now, the way the trailer starts is a group of girls that get inside of a car, and I think their dad or whatever is like putting up groceries in the back of the trunk, and then he vanishes, and James McAvoy sits in the driver's seat, and they're like all freaking out and shit, and I'm like, that's genius. What a great fucking opening for a trailer. So I was already hooked. And then we dive deeper and deeper into the trailer where these girls are being hostage, or being held hostage by James McAvoy's character, and and then it starts spiraling out of control where James McAvoy is playing like different personalities, and like the guy that kidnapped him, you know, goes away. Another character comes back and he's like, I'm going to help rescue you girls. So like he's going back and forth with these girls and like really fucking with their mind and whatnot. And then there's one where he plays like a fucking 12-year-old. It is outstanding. I'm not even joking. If this movie is like amazing and James McAvoy delivers, I actually I wouldn't be shocked if he ever got if he got nominated for it. Like, he actually looks that good, but it looks like a really creepy type of suspenseful thriller and whatnot. So I'm really looking forward to Split. Like, this is probably my most anticipated M. Night Shyamalan movie since probably The Village. And so it's been about 12 years. So thank you, Mr. Shyamalan. Yes, please. Especially after The Visit, I'm just really excited to see him kind of continue on this ball of success that he's got rolling down this hill right now. Tabby in Facebook Live says James McAvoy equals sexy human being. I won't argue with that. All right, so that is it for the trailers, guys. So thank you for listening to the trailers. Comment in the place where I'm on face and tell me which trailers that you thought were the best. On Facebook Live, Ren also said the Split looks good as well, so I totally agree, sir. So I don't know. I don't know what the winner is. It's either Split or Hacksaw Ridge because they are both excellent trailers and stuff. So I would actually say both of those would probably be my favorite. So, guys, let's jump into what you guys came here for. Me talking about Jason Bourne and the Bourne Trilogy. So let me start off with my journey by saying this. I never saw one Bourne movie up until Tuesday of this previous week. I wanted to be prepared for Jason Bourne. I did not want to go in there blind. I really wanted to kind of get a grasp on this character and this type of environment and just the way these films are shot. So I watched, so in this section right here, before I get into my review of Jason Bourne, I'm going to talk about the Bourne trilogies very quickly on each one and stuff, and I'll build up to Jason Bourne. So let's talk about the Bourne identity real quick. I really thought the Bourne identity was a great introduction to this character. This is a guy that has amnesia. He doesn't know who he is. He's trying to figure out his past, and we as an audience are trying to figure that out as well. And it's a really kind of great mind game where we're like, yes, Jason, we're along for this character, and we are going for we're along this journey with you. So yeah, I really thought Identity was a great introduction to the character. I thought the side characters such as Marie, his girlfriend and stuff, were really well handled. It was just a really great kind of character piece for this this character and stuff, and we're kind of just getting a glimpse of what his character is like and whatnot. And I really thought the action was really well handled. It was very visceral. It felt very grounded. And then it ends on some type of a happy cliffhanger where you're like, yeah, okay, I'm excited to see the rest. And a lot of people, I gotta say this real fast. A lot of people will say Jason Bourne is nothing but a stone cold killer that is very emotionless. I disagree. If you watch all those movies, yes, he is an assassin. Yes, he's very good at what he does. However, there's a lot of smaller character moments within all three of the movies where it accentuates his character and it makes him have a character and a personality. For instance, in the Bourne Identity, when he's around this this woman, and I'm trying really hard not to spoil anything for you guys, I'm just kind of tiptoeing around it. But when he's around this certain woman, he's very happy. He's very smiley and stuff because this is the first person that he's pretty much seen in this adventure and whatnot that he can really kind of connect with on an emotional level. And there's something kind of really touching about that. And so for the Bourne Identity, that was the small character moment. It's like, oh, he's got a really good heart with him. So the Bourne Identity was really solid. I would give it I give it a B+ for sure. The Bourne Supremacy, the follow-up sequel to Bourne Identity. It takes place, I believe, was it 2 or 3 years after the first one? Not release-wise, timeline-wise, sorry. I thought the Supremacy was a really great, like, kind of action revenge film. It was nonstop from start to finish, and the directors are switched. So the first one was directed by Doug Liman, who did, Mr. and Mrs. Smith, Edge of Tomorrow, and whatnot. And it switched over to Paul Greengrass, who did the Bourne Supremacy Ultimatum, the new Jason Bourne, Captain Phillips, United 93. The guy's done a lot of great films. The Bourne Supremacy really kind of honed in on the handheld kind of camera documentary look, to make these situations feel way more grounded in reality, as if I was watching real events happen in front of me. So I really do appreciate that style, even though some of the fight scenes, they got a little too shake-tastic. Now, I don't mind handheld films. I don't mind a little shake in the action scenes and whatnot, but this was a little too much, and he definitely honed it back a little bit for Ultimatum and Jason Bourne, but the fight scenes still felt very gritty and realistic and raw and stuff. But like I said, some of the scenes were just a little too much. It's like, it's epilepsy all over the place. If you have epilepsy, I'm sorry, I made fun of you. I am a terrible human being. But Supremacy, it builds his character even more. And like I said, he is a stone cold killer throughout the entire thing, because like I said, it's like this weird revenge film. But at the end of the movie, he's got signs of guilt. He's got signs of this guilt weighing him down throughout the entire franchise, that he needs to go kind of express his emotions to certain people to try to get it off of his chest and whatnot, because he feels like he's done some bad when a lot of people think he's done good and whatnot, but he knows deep down that he did a shitty thing, and he needs to go kind of build friendships back together and stuff, because he doesn't know anyone. He's alone in the world. So when you're considered a bad dude, you want to go kind of fix those bridges that you burn and whatnot. So there's a character moment at the end of Supremacy that was really heartfelt, and it's probably my favorite character moment that he's had thus far. And he confronts someone and kind of just confesses everything, and it was just so heartbreaking, so emotional, and you could see it in his eyes. And like, that's what's great about what Matt Damon does in this series. Yes, he can play that stone cold killer, but watch his facial movements, watch his eyes and stuff. He's conveying a lot of emotion, even though he seems like a shallow, hollow human being, because he is just a killer. But deep down there's a lot more to him, and there's moments like that really accentuate that. So then Supremacy ends. Now we're to the Bourne Ultimatum, which is probably my favorite one out of the bunch. For Supremacy, I'd probably give a B+ as well. I'm probably going to most likely just give them all the same grade, just because action films aren't really my thing. I think they're very good films. I think they're very entertaining and whatnot. I'm just not like, oh my God, this revolutionized action genre. They're very well done films, even though I think for the most part the story is the same for all three of them, but they're very well told. So I can't really knock it for that. The Bourne Ultimatum picks up right after Supremacy left off. And then this one is my favorite for a number of things. One, it's got a lot more smaller character moments that really kind of peel back those onion layers of this character, and we get to know more about him. We get to see his past. We get to see why and how he joined this program, Treadstone, and why he did what he did, and how he was brainwashed and stuff, and how the CIA controlled him and whatnot. We see all that. The action scenes, once again, very well realized, and a lot of people do not give Paul Greengrass the credit in all four of the films that he directed, or the three films that he directed. The guy is directing so many extras around every single action sequence. It's actually kind of mind-blowing. He is directing Jason Bourne, the villain that's going after him. He's directing the CIA headquarters shots. He's directing all the extras on the streets and stuff. There's a lot to be handled in these films, and it's just really impressive on a directing and an action level to see someone kind of rein in all those people and really deliver the vision that he wants to deliver. But for the directing in Ultimatum, it's outstanding. Like, there's one sequence where it takes place in a mall, and like there's just a lot of people, and it's like he directed it so fluently, it's almost like he didn't even try. And once again, the cinematography with the whole shaky cam adds that grounded realism that what you want out of this franchise. This is espionage. This is government. This is, people running from the government. You want that sense of urgency and that sense of thrill and suspense that just has you at the edge of your seat and, holds you by the throat and doesn't let go. You want that in these type of movies. The Ultimatum does that best. Matt Damon, once again, great performance. Once I said smaller character moments and whatnot, and it ends with pretty much everything getting wrapped up. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't mind if the Bourne franchise ended after Ultimatum. I think it was a really nice, strong into it, and I would give Ultimatum a B+ as well. Listen, my favorite one probably is Ultimatum, and then I go Identity and then Supremacy, but I still think they're all very solid films. I probably won't want to watch them again for a while, but I understand people that really like it a lot, so yeah. So that is like kind of my overview of the Bourne trilogy. I watched all 3 of them this past week, very first time, and I'm glad I did, so I can get prepared for my review of Jason Bourne. Now, this is also directed by Paul Greengrass, stars Matt Damon. We have newcomers like Tommy Lee Jones, Alicia Vikander, Riz Ahmad, I believe that's his name. If I got that wrong, I apologize. Who else is in this? Julia Stiles also comes back as her character. And it picks up, I want to say, several years after the third one, because I forgot what the time frame was between Ultimatum and Jason Bourne. But you can tell just by the way the characters age, like it was definitely a long time for sure. But Julia Stiles, pretty much her character sparks back up the programs that Jason Bourne was a part of, and there's your movie. And I don't want to say anything else about it, except that it is another thrill ride in this installment and is just as worth watching as all the other ones. So let's get real and break this down. So we'll start with the writing and directing. As far as the writing goes, I thought, once again, it's the same thing. Jason Bourne trying to figure out his past and try to run from the CIA because they don't want him leaking a bunch of shit. They want to kill him, terminate his ass before anything else happens. But I thought the story overall was actually more entertaining than like Supremacy and Identity. I still think like Ultimatum, I believe, has the best story. This one might be up there. Like as I was watching, I was like really getting into it, and I really liked every single set piece, every single action sequence. And the podcast I do, Top 5 Saturdays Live, we did over Matt Damon films last night, and our guest Anthony, he said that every single action sequence has a purpose to further along the story and the characters. I firmly believe that. And I actually think the action set pieces did it in this one too. So with the action and with the story and more backstory for Jason Bourne and stuff, it was a really well-rounded story that was just, it was hard-hitting, entertaining, and just keeps you on the edge of your seat, and I love that shit. However, this is my one criticism for the story if they want to move on to future movies, because they did set this up for a sequel. You've got to move on from Jason Bourne's past. We get it. We know it now. Do something different. Because this was the first one that they made that wasn't based on a book. Because Ultimatum, Supremacy, and Identity were all based on books. Jason Bourne was not, and so they had to actually write a script and shit. So if they're going to do that, no more going back to the past. Just move forward. Please, I beg of you. So let's move on to directing. Paul Greengrass, once again, like I said, you started with Supremacy with, the humongous shaky cam in some scenes. Ultimatum was done a little bit better. This one was done the best in terms of really keeping a stabilization on the camera and the movements and stuff. Yes, is there shake there? Of course there is. But once again, it adds to that gritty, raw realism to the film and the urgency that you have as if you're watching real-life events take a hold of you and you're watching like some weird news special of a bunch of people going after Jason Bourne. So I thought the directing in this was really well handled and stuff. And I guess going along with the story, I didn't want to say it, but I guess the more I think about it, it kind of does bug me. Listen, the whole movie is about the CIA going after Jason Bourne, just like the rest. But there's also what is it, like a website or something, like an app or something? There's like a website or an app developing that's going to really help the CIA in other goals for some of the characters. I felt like that was out of place just a little bit. It kind of felt a little jaded when it would cut from this chase, this long 2-hour chase of people going after Jason Bourne, and then we cut to this CIA director and some guy talking about a website. It just, I don't know, it didn't seem like it flowed very well, and it seemed a little jagged in the story, even though I totally got it. I understood what the goals were for the character, but I just, it really didn't need to be in there. So as far as directing goes, everything else was very, very solid except for that. Yeah, I guess just the more I think about it, the more I just don't really care for it. Acting-wise, Matt Damon, once again, delivers. I really liked his performance in this. Very subtle, very calming and stuff, but you know that if you fuck with them, you're going to fuck with you back. There's not as many character moments in this one as the other three, but there are some of them in terms of his past and whatnot that were really well handled and whatnot. But he delivers a really great job. Vincent Cassel. I've always loved this guy. When you watch movies like Black Swan or like Irreversible, the guy's a talented human being. He's a really great foil for Jason Bourne in this one. I really liked. He's probably my favorite assassin going after Jason Bourne out of all of them. I really liked him quite a bit. Tommy Lee Jones does a pretty good job. I really like him. He was very threatening and very powerful in a few scenes, and I really felt that energy. I was like, ugh. You're creeping me the fuck out, Tommy Lee Jones. Everyone else does fine except. Guys, listen, I realize that Julia Stiles was in the original films. I get that. But here's the deal. Half of her lines were delivered so wooden and so poorly that every time when she talked, I just cringed in my seat. I was like, ew. So, I gotta be honest. I really didn't like her acting at all. I didn't like any of her performances. She was very wooden. Her lines were very stilted and just weird. They were delivered very poorly. I just did not like her performance whatsoever. I forgot to mention Alicia Vikander. She was fine. I really like her quite a bit. I thought she was really great in Ex Machina last year. She's just one of these actresses that's just blown up. She was like in 5 movies last year. I didn't see all of them, but I remember Ex Machina, and that was definitely my favorite of hers. She's just fine. But yeah, Julia Stiles was the worst. Matt Damon was the best. Tommy Lee Jones was really damn good. And everyone else was, they were serviceable. And Vincent Cassel was great. Cinematography-wise, once again, I think what Paul Greengrass did was really kind of hone the shakiness a little bit. So in all the action scenes, they're so well shot and just so beautiful and melodic and chaotic at the same time. I think Paul Greengrass really has nailed down this like kind of documentary kind of reality feel to his films, and all the action sequences really kind of accentuate that. I love all the hand-to-hand combat. It feels really just kind of visceral, brutal, and vicious, like a prison yard fight. I love that shit. When we get into some of the car chases, they feel really exciting and action-packed and whatnot. There's one on the Vegas Strip. It's in the trailer. It's pretty cool to watch. Yeah, I really like the way it was shot. It was definitely a lot more steady than Supremacy and Ultimatum, but still got like kind of like that documentary feel, which is never a bad thing for these type of espionage movies. So cinematography, good job. Editing-wise, movie's about 2 hours, I believe, maybe a little over 2 hours. I was entertained from start to finish. I think this might be the most entertaining one to me. Maybe it's because I was watching it on a big screen instead of my computer and whatnot, like I did for the other 3 for this past week. But I really enjoyed myself. From start to finish, it starts and it's not let up. It's just bam, 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 bam. And even the smaller stuff, you're just intrigued because you're like, this is building his character. This is building the depth. This is what I want to see. And I was entertained from start to finish. Had no problems with the pacing. I didn't feel like there was any parts that slowed down. I didn't feel like any part was really dragging the film down in any capacity. It was a really well tight-notched thriller, and I really enjoyed it. I'm going to give this one, I'm going to give Jason Bourne, I'm going to give it a B+. I believe it's a very solid film. I like it a little bit more than like Supremacy and stuff, but Ultimatum is really good. I'm just not like, a fan that just like loves these films like most people do, because I know a lot of fucking people love the Bourne franchise. I get it. They're very well told films. I'm just not that big of an action junkie, and I don't know, maybe I'm just, boring and uninteresting, but they're fine. They're very, very good movies. I would still highly recommend you see Jason Bourne in theaters because it expands the mythology with his character and whatnot. I just really hope for the next one when they do it, it is something different. Please, I beg of you. But for the most part, this is a really well done, smart action film that says a lot about surveillance and government spying and whatnot. And, is it right to leak stuff and whatnot? There's a lot of great social commentary within it as well. So that's what I really appreciated about the new Jason Bourne. There was a lot more social commentary on, spying and whatnot nowadays than it was in the original films. So what say you guys? Have you seen Jason Bourne? Comment in the place above my face and let me know what you thought of the new Jason Bourne and what you think of the trilogy overall, because I really enjoy it, and I actually can't wait to see the next one. Very solid action film indeed. So, whoops. Hold on, guys. This is what happens when you do this shit live and you forget stuff. Okay, now we're gonna move on to the box office results. Sorry about that, guys. I forgot to put that in the description. All right, so let's do the top 5 for the weekend. Ooh, interesting indeed. Okay, a film that opened up this week. I really wanted to see it, but I only had enough money for one film. So I saw Jason Bourne, and this one was Nerve. It came out in 8th place with $9 million. It's not bad for that type of movie. It opened up on Wednesday. It made $15 million for its overall haul for the week. It's fine. It probably made its money back, so I'm not really too sad for it, I guess. Number 4 is The Secret Life of Pets with number 5, because I went to number 8. Number 5, Lights Out with $10.8 million. This film is a juggernaut. With a budget of $4.9 million, you guys keep in mind you got to double the budget for it to break even because the theaters got to take their take, and you also got to add in marketing and whatnot. So to double that, you're looking at $10 million. With marketing, I'm gonna say they probably pumped in about 2 to 5. So I'm gonna say $15 million to break even. Holy shit, $42 million domestically, which is the U.S. and Canada, and worldwide it's made $63.6 million. The fuck, it's like quadrupled its breaking point. Jesus. I really didn't like Lights Out whatsoever because I thought it just completely fell apart in the last 10, 15 minutes of the film and completely just ruined the experience for me. So yeah, number 4 is The Secret Life of Pets with $18.2 million. Damn, this thing's made a shit ton. Yeah, sorry. $75 million is the budget, so it needs to make about $150 million to break even. With marketing, I'm gonna say about $200 million because it pumped in a lot of marketing for this film. Domestically, it's at $296, and worldwide, it's at $395. It's doing just fine. I wouldn't be surprised if they made a sequel to this, turning it into their version of Toy Story. So there you go. Number 3 is Bad Moms with $23.4 million. This was also the newest release that came out this weekend. Once again, did not see it. I had enough money for one movie, and of course, I was going to choose Bourne. Bad Moms, $23.4. Its budget was $20 million, so double that, and you're going to need about $40 million. And with marketing, I'm going to say it did about $5 million in marketing, so maybe $45 million to break even. I've been hearing great things about it. It's from the directors of The Hangover and whatnot, so I'm sure I might see it down the road, maybe next weekend if I'm bored. But $23.4 million, it's fine. I'm sure it'll make its money back for sure. Number 2 is Star Trek Beyond with $24 million, so it's $600,000 more than Bad Moms. Right now, Star Trek's budget is $185, so if I do my math correctly, very shittily, $370 million to break even. But with marketing and stuff, I'm going to say about $410 maybe. Domestically, it's at 105 right now, and worldwide, it's at 160. That's not good. Listen, I saw Star Trek Beyond last week, and you guys have seen the episode. I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a really fun film. But that's as far as I'll go and stuff. I'm just not like the biggest Star Trek fan, but I still like these newer incarnations of it and whatnot. But 160, man, that's fucking brutal. I don't know, man. It's yikes. And the number 1, you guys knew it was coming. Jason Bourne was $60 million. It's not bad. Production budget was $120 million. And the last Matt Damon, Paul Greengrass outing was Bourne Ultimatum, and that budget was $110. So they only went $10 million higher. And domestically, it's made $60 so far, and worldwide, it's made $110. With marketing and stuff, I'm gonna say it needs to make about $280, maybe even $300 to break even. Because the double 120, you're looking at $240. I'm gonna say they sunk in quite a bit. maybe 275, 280 to break even. But I think it can do it because the other Bourne movies and stuff, they've done very well box office wise. Even Bourne Legacy, which I did not even see, but that movie, despite people not liking it, it was received very well box office wise. So yeah, good for it. I really enjoyed it. So that will do it, guys, for this week's episode of Real Me and Colin, the movie podcast. I want to thank you guys for listening. This has been episode 140. So episode 141 next week will be over Suicide Squad. And I also might have my review of Gleason, which is a documentary. I'm seeing it Tuesday, so I might do a double header, and I'll do Suicide Squad and Gleason, just to give you guys a little bit of a mix. Like, I'm going to get you your blockbuster review, and then I'll have a smaller kind of documentary to do it as well. So I'm seeing that Tuesday, and that one looks like a really kind of like heartfelt, kind of inspiring, emotional documentary. So I'm really excited to see it. So next week, guys, for 141, Suicide Squad and Gleason. I want to thank you guys for listening. If you're watching on YouTube and you want an audio-only version of the podcast, link will be in the description below. And if you're listening on Spreaker, iHeartRadio, iTunes, SoundCloud, or yeah, that's it. And you want a video version, you want to see my face, link will be in the description below. Yeah, that's I was about to say something that I completely forgot, but then again, do I ever sound coherent when I'm doing this? So thank you, Facebook Live, for watching, and You Now. I tried You Now for the first time, and I probably went very poorly, but just it's whatever. So hey, listen, guys, if you want to follow me on Twitter, it's @RealChaseLee. Subscribe to my YouTube channel. Subscribe to all that stuff. If you want to follow me on my Facebook personal page, I post a lot of videos and whatnot. So if you want some entertainment and some comedy, well, I put comedy very loosely, then you can go and follow me as well. Guys, listen, if you made it through this entire podcast and you were not a movie fan, well, hopefully I convinced you to be one. I'm Chase Lee, guys. This has been Real Me and Colin, the movie podcast. We are 15 weeks away from hitting the 3-year anniversary mark. Fun stuff. Cannot wait. You guys are fucking awesome, fucking dope. I want you guys to have a badass week, a badass weekend. Go see some movies, and I'll see you guys next week for Suicide Squad. Oh, I'm not going to kill you. I'm just going to hurt you. Really, really bad. That is from the Joker from the Suicide Squad trailer. Peace out, everyone. Intro and outro music done by Fervent Roze, my friend's band in Dallas. Check them out. They're blowing up. Link in the description below. Peace out, everyone. Oh, man. About to get crazy for Suicide Squad. I can't wait for that shit. All right, I'll see you guys later.